What's up my mates of YouTube, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing a men's fragrance, Intimately by David Beckham, the men's version. But before I get into the review, my fragrance of the day, and that is Gucci Guilty Intense Pour Homme. What I love about Gucci Guilty Intense Pour Homme is that it takes the Gucci Guilty DNA, which is aromatic, a little on the fresh side, and just absolutely mass appealing, and it adds a bit more patchouli, a bit more earthiness, and a bit more depth. It is a fantastic fragrance, although it can be a little on the pricey side. You know, I've seen it go from anywhere from $70 all the way up to $110, depending on what retailer you go to. But I think if you can get the 100 ml instead of the 50, is this 50? Yeah, 50 ml, instead of the smaller bottle, more is always better value, even if you're paying more initially out of pocket. Gucci Guilty Intense, I always get compliments for it. It's a fantastic smelling fragrance. Performance is actually quite decent as far as the Gucci fragrances go. It gets about 7 to 8 hours on my skin with 4 sprays. I find that 2 sprays, which is generally what I go with, 2 sprays is usually too little when it comes to the Gucci fragrances, with the sole exception being Gucci Guilty Absolute, in which case 1 spray is enough to last you days. But yeah, Gucci Guilty Intense, awesome fragrance, and if you haven't checked it out, absolutely do so. Now, regarding David Beckham's Intimately, the packaging is alright. It's a little cheap looking, but it's got a slightly textured finish. It's not bad at all. And the bottle is actually pretty well designed. I remember buying this, I would have been maybe just finished high school, although I will say before I get into that story a little bit, that the sticker is just pretty haphazardly placed on the bottle. You know, it's not dead in the center, it's sort of a little askew on the top there, as you can probably see. But yeah, I wore this in high school, like just as I was finishing high school, and I used to get quite a few compliments for it. But my grandmother really liked the bottle because she'd seen it one day, and yeah, I ended up giving her the empty bottle just because she liked the look of it so much. So, first impressions of the bottle, of the, you know, the presentation, it's quite classy looking, even though it costs about $15 Australian on special. I've seen it go down as low as 13 at Chemist Warehouse sometimes. But generally, about $15 is what you're going to pay for this. And I'll show you the atomizer. Atomizer is okay. It's not bad, but it's not fantastic. It's woody, it's spicy, it's powdery. It's very classy smelling. It's mature, but it isn't so mature and stuffy that it's, you know, that only like a 40-plus-year-old person could wear it. And 40 isn't even that old, so maybe I should say 50. It's what I like about Intimately by David Beckham is that it has a lot of characteristics that, you know, it punches above its weight. For $15, you are getting quite a bit here. Performance is lackluster. I'm talking, even with 3 sprays, less than 5 hours of performance. Depending on your skin chemistry, that is going to vary. But yeah, the DNA itself, I really think this would benefit from an eau de parfum or even a parfum. I know David Beckham has just released a line of eau de parfums. I am looking at getting those to do reviews of because I haven't seen any like reviews yet. Not that I watch a lot of fragrance content here, and the reason for that is I don't want anyone else's opinions kind of influencing my own. I like just keeping things really honest and going from there. Like, there are a couple of fragrance channels that I do subscribe to just purely because, you know, they're some of the bigger names here, and you know, it's good to keep track of new releases every now and then, and yeah, they all make fantastic content. Obviously the production value is much better than my little channel, but I like to think that because I don't have any sponsors, I don't have any sponsorships, I don't have advertising, my opinions are, you know, just really raw, and that's the way I like it, and I'm going to try and keep it that way as much as possible. But yeah, back to the fragrance. I really think this would benefit from an eau de parfum. The DNA is so good. Like, I can't state that enough. It's powdery, but not overly so. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of powdery fragrances, like the Obsession line, both the men and the women's Calvin Klein Obsession. They have a powderiness that I don't particularly like. It does take away from some of my enjoyment of those fragrances. But Intimately by Beckham has a powdery quality, but it's not to that level. It's a little less subtle. It's not as dense as those two fragrances. And I do think they can be compared, although this doesn't have the cinnamon note that those do. Yeah, Intimately by David Beckham, you're paying, $15. You're getting about 5 hours of performance, depending on how many sprays you use. Compliments are fantastic. I don't think I've met anybody that dislikes the way Intimately smells. It is a very nice smelling fragrance. And if all you are after is compliments and somebody to say, hey, that smells great, what is that? I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure people know Intimately by David Beckham, just because Beckham fragrances were one of the few fragrances people were actually wearing back in high school. If they weren't wearing like Lynx or Axe, if you're American, body spray, they'd probably wear a David Beckham fragrance. But yeah, performance is a little lackluster, but it's okay. It doesn't project too well. In the first 15 minutes, I think it does stand out, but after that, it does sit a little closer to the skin. Anyways, that is about all I have to say about Intimately by David Beckham. If you've ever worn this one before, let me know in the comments below, because I'm always curious to hear what you guys think. I have a feeling quite a few of you will be familiar with this one, just based on the fact that it's a David Beckham fragrance, and they're affordable. A lot of you can get them pretty much anywhere. And yeah, always curious to hear what you guys think. Until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and I'll catch you guys around.